suppose if you're like intimate, like you lick booty holes. So it's a kind of similar situation. You lick a booty hole or something. You've never licked a booty hole?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, well.
Hey guys, welcome to the Geek Up. Today we're talking Perfect Match, episodes 5 through 8.
On Netflix.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
All right, guys, this is the second set of episodes. What'd you think?
Better than the first set of episodes. I'll give it that much at least.
More drama, which I appreciate.
Yeah. More drama.
lot
I
of drama.
think some of the comps were better in this one. At least there were more actual compatibility challenges, I think, compared to some of the last ones were. And
Swapping of people.
And as always, Francesca is an asshole, and she just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, so this kind of
I
starts
agree with
off
Billy.
with that. She's hooking up with Damien.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts there?
You saw it coming. You know,
Poor Dom.
Yeah, that poor bastard, right?
Yeah, he fell hard.
Now, I think she said she never even kissed Damon before, but I think they kiss on this date,
On
right?
the very first day they kissed.
So I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that?
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they still never, but then they never really talk about if they've actually kissed before or not. You still never get a real answer to that. But
No,
True,
they
true.
said that. They had never kissed.
Did they say it together?
Yes.
All right. Well, I don't buy it. I think it's bullshit.
That's what they said.
I don't know. And then Ines meets Bartise.
Yeah.
From Love is Blind. What do you
Yeah.
think about
I
Bartise,
like
being
Bartise.
on the show?
Well, Bartise reminds me of Shane. You know, I mean, when we reviewed that season, Love is Blind, I said that. You know, I was, Bartise is like that season
yeah,
Shane.
I think so.
You know, and I like him, man. I like Bartise. You know, he's I mean, he was kind of a douche on Love is Blind to Nancy, right? But overall, I think he's all right. You know, I
He
like
has
the
a
guy.
very welcoming, initial feel to him.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's very just kind of outgoing, just a feel good kind of guy. You know,
Yeah.
he's here to
Puts
have a
you in
good
a
time.
mood.
I get a different feeling about Bartise.
Well, what's your feeling about Bartise?
Well, okay, so I definitely did not like Bartise by the end of these episodes, for sure. I don't know if you guys go there, but I don't know if we're going there already.
Hey, you go wherever you want to go.
Oh, yeah, Bartise is a dick. There you go. I said
Come
it.
on now. All right, he's
Compared to everybody
okay,
else, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, when you compare him to like Chase
Mhm.
and freaking chick I just said, Francesca, like he's pretty damn on the light side compared to
No,
those two.
I think he's worse. And you know why? It's because he's not
No.
transparent about it. The other ones are very transparent and it's
No,
very
Chase
obvious.
isn't transparent. Chase gets caught up in a couple
Yeah.
lies.
Yeah,
Chase tries to
Trace
fool you.
No,
Oh, yeah.
he,
Oh, yeah.
but he
Oh,
doesn't.
yeah.
He doesn't even come close. Like he's
That's because he's not good at it.
He gave Georgia
Bartise
a rock.
tries too hard.
Yeah, right,
The
right.
rock. The rock.
Oh.
No, Bartise is like, and I hate what he did to Inez. Hate that conversation at the end.
Well, it's kind of funny because these two couples come back to the house and Joey and Carousel are like sucking face and then they stop as soon as they come in because they want to see the drama with Francesca and
Yeah,
Dom.
oh
and
yeah,
all that.
oh yeah.
So I'm sucking face with Joey on the couch, and all of a sudden I hear Francesca's voice.
Hello.
I'm like, we gotta go. I've been waiting for this all day.
Oh yeah.
Well, and now you really start to see too, like when people are like, "Oh, Carousel is like Francesca's little bitch up her ass all the time." You really start to see that now. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, she totally is.
Well, Carousel's a little pot stirrer. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
She did
Oh,
the
yeah.
same thing with Inez. She's like,
Mhm.
no, you go do this. Like, you're here for you. Like, no,
Mhm.
you just want to see the drama unfold.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When people were complaining about it, they're all in that little circle there, and Joey's sitting back. He's like, "Yeah, I don't think my girlfriend has ill intentions here. I don't think she's really trying to break anybody up." And
she might be.
And Georgia's like, "I disagree."
I feel bad for
But,
Georgia.
but you
Oh, I
gotta
know.
admit, she's trying to do right too. You know what I mean? She's trying to push Ines.
Yeah, I
who
mean-
likes Dom.
If Inez does have feelings for Dom, which she did, then she should definitely say it to him, right? I mean, that's what this
Yeah.
whole show's about. I mean, she was right in that aspect, whether she was actually trying to stir the pot or not. Yeah, Inez should definitely tell Dom how she feels, right? So
But
I mean,
Inez
I
did-
agree with that.
Inez did say that she wanted to go talk to Georgia first.
Yeah.
And Carousel's like, don't you dare.
Right.
Like, you'll lose
Yeah.
the nerve, which I get that argument too, that she could have lost the nerve, like if she talked to Georgia. But out of respect, especially because I don't see Inez as that person who's like, I'm going to go steal your man. She just wanted to be like, hey, I'm sorry. I know it's kind of awkward timing. I wish I had realized this sooner.
Right.
But
and,
I don't want to regret anything out of this situation, so I'm going to tell you.
right. And of course, the reason Georgia is now with Dom is because Francesca freaking pulled the bitch mode on him and just completely dumped him for Damien.
Yeah, Francesca dumps Dom. He starts crying.
Oh, that poor
He's
guy, man.
heartbroken.
That poor guy, dude.
He said he loved
He's
her.
ready to go home. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. And then Georgia, and then she makes her move, right? So Georgia did what Inez should have done, right? Georgia made her move right then, like,
and
hey, I like
Inez
this
should
guy.
have made that move
At
at
the same time, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
she really should have.
Yeah.
And then Izzy matches with Bartise.
Mm-hmm. And you thought that was like, okay,
I thought that was a pretty
gonna
good
work,
matchup.
man. Yeah.
Like they're both pretty outgoing,
Mhm.
so I'm
And
kind
that's
of surprised
after-
that fizzled.
Right, and well, that's after Bartise went on his date with Inez and had like a great date with her. They had a
Mhm.
great date together. He's like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. And then that night, he's like, all right, let's go, Izzy.
Yeah. Again, I don't think Bartise is there for the right
Well, I think
reason.
Izzy chose him, right? I think that's how it went
No,
down.
I think he chose.
I think she went out on a limb and chose him.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, he
Oh,
kind of screwed Inez over and went with Izzy. So
Dom and Georgia matching honestly makes me want to throw up. He just told me that he loved me, and now that he's with my friend, who kind of doesn't really feel like a friend anymore, it just gives me awkward, uncomfy vibes.
Francesca sees like Dom hooking up, and she's like, "That makes me sick." And you're like,
yeah,
"What?
like,
What are you
get the
talking
hell
about?"
out of here?
And Georgia's like first of all, she hates seeing them together, and Georgia's like the evil person who
Mhm.
who did this. I'm like, you're literally doing the same thing. And
Yeah.
the way Francesca bounces between people, like Dom was her everything, and then
Mhm.
then when Damien became an option, she's like, it's just boring with Dom. Like, there's no
Yeah.
spark.
Well, she gets
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah, no
nasty at
sexual
one point
attraction.
when she's talking to Georgia.
Dom. I could never like see myself like wanting to him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole
Say,
conversation.
I just
was-
can't see having like sex with that guy.
Yeah, with Dom. Yeah, she was saying
Yeah.
that,
To
and it's-
Georgia.
Yeah, right. Well, and then, whenever she's talking about Damien on the
She
screen,
does
right?
the same thing
She
to
does.
Damien.
She like completely like, oh, on Love Is Blind. His girlfriend said he was horrible in bed, so I don't know if he's just trying to, get with me to have sex with me to prove that he's good in bed. I'm like, dude, why the hell are you gonna do that shit on national TV to somebody? It's like, come on, man, that's
And
so
then
messed up.
He does this thing where he nibbles down my arm, and I'm like, ugh,
You
it's
didn't
so
seem to have a problem
cringe.
earlier.
right. Because before you were saying how sexy he was and how
Yeah.
how horny you were around him all the time, you were just ready for him to jump your bones, and now all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, I don't like it. It's like, dude,
But
it's like, come
before
on now.
Georgia hooks up with Dom, she's flirting with Chase a little bit, but she seems like she's got a little tingle
Oh,
that
yeah.
something
Yeah,
ain't
them
right
spidey
with
senses
this
going
She
on,
guy.
man.
can read Chase.
Yeah.
She reads because Chase, he's readable. This is where the problem that I have with Bartise is like, I think he tries to pull the wool over people's eyes.
Oh, he does. Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. But I like Georgia. Georgia's a sweetheart. She knows what she's there for, right?
Mhm.
She's flat out and she's open about it, and she calls people out on their bullshit.
Yeah.
Like with Chase, she was like, he's like, oh, during the thing, you were so great. You were hanging in there with the Peppers, even though I kind of bowed out, for your sake. And she's like, well, you bowed out for my sake. Then why'd you
You're
drink
in
why'd you
tears,
drink the
man.
water first? And she's like, why'd you drink the water first instead of give it to me? And he was like,
All right, you're right. You're right.
you're
You're
right.
right.
Okay.
Now everyone starts hooking up, but Inez is the last woman to hook up with someone, and she gets to choose between Nick,
Oh, she got the three-way.
Chase, and Shane, and that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I was hoping she was gonna go with Shane, and she did, and I was happy about that, right? And
Nick's
I
a
thought
pretty good guy, though. I think.
I like Nick.
he is, but
But they
I don't
they
think
weren't
Nick's
together.
necessarily. Yeah, they weren't together, and I don't think Nick's necessarily completely there for the right reason. Whereas Shane definitely is, right? Shane's
Well-
definitely there to find somebody.
Nick pulled a Francesca with Inez earlier
Mhm.
because
Oh, yeah.
he was all about Inez for the longest time. I just got to get with Inez, and then he had one night with her. Yeah, no,
Over
that's
Izzy.
nothing.
Yeah.
What I find hilarious though is Inez like goes for Shane, and then he's like, "I'm not a second
Second
rate."
rate.
And then, like, gets
He's like,
all
I'm
pissed off.
nobody's second choice.
Yeah.
And she's like, dude, just calm down. Like, we're all in this house trying to make shit work, and it's all crazy, and just come
Now I
on.
will say this about Inez: like when people blow up on her, she sticks with it. She
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
just like
Does.
run off in
Mhm.
anger. She's like, "Let's talk about this."
And
yeah.
she'll get just as heated, but she'll stand
Mhm.
her ground without being offensive.
yeah.
Or loud about it.
Or loud,
She is
yeah.
very good. And Inez is like amazing arguer. Like she could teach
Yep.
arguing classes.
She
Like,
should,
that's what she
actually.
should do for a living is teach people how to argue
Yeah,
properly.
she doesn't really elevate it,
No.
and fight back, but she's kind of aggressive and standing her ground at the same time. So it's pretty interesting to
Oh yeah,
watch.
yeah. No, she's awesome.
It's talent.
Yeah,
There's a talent behind it. I mean, I was watching her with the Bartise conversation, which is what really like pushed me over the top with Bartise that I don't like him, was when he was saying that he picked her up off the ground.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
and she's like, no, I don't agree with that. And he's like, you were like beside
crying
yourself.
your eyes
You
out,
were, you were just like basically on the floor, and I just picked you up. And she's like, no, and
Now,
he was talking over. I hated how aggressive he was in that
but
conversation.
from
with
what
her.
we saw, now we don't know everything about the show, but from what we saw, that is what it looked like. She was like ready to go, and he talked her off the ledge. She's like, "No, come on, just come."
Yeah, I get
stick
what
with-
he was
stick with
saying.
me.
He just kind of
he was just
presented
kind of
it
he wasn't
poorly.
kind of an asshole about it, right? Exactly.
He acted as if like she owes him everything, and just
Well, he's
she
just
owes him
saying.
nothing.
He's just kind of saying, I chose you when no one else did, and now you're dissing me like right now.
Yeah.
So
Right.
so
Well, it
he's
didn't
trying to
work
fight
out.
for that. He just put it in a bad way.
Oh yeah,
It didn't work out.
Trying to say like I'm Superman and I picked you up and and carried you. It's like you can't say that to a woman.
So Chase and Nick go home.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm
man.
glad to see Chase go, but I
Yeah.
kind of
I
like
was
Nick.
so
I
glad to
liked
see Chase go.
Nick, although I agree that Nick is probably not there for the right reasons.
Right,
but I
exactly.
was kind of hoping he would come around.
But guess
you
what?
know?
We're gonna see him again. So
Probably.
Probably.
Well, I think they do show him in the trailer.
yeah, they
so.
did. Yeah, everybody's coming back
Mhm.
evidently, which that pisses me off. Like in this show, there is no repercussion. Like you leave, guess what? Don't worry, we're bringing you back in a couple episodes, so you're good.
You
Right? So-
shall return.
Right.
Yeah, but you are coming back later while maybe other connections have grown
Right.
stronger, so you have less
Yeah.
of a chance, I guess. Or
The only thing, the saving grace that lets me believe, okay, I understood why they do it, is with what's her name, man, the chick that freaking dumps Shane for her ex-boyfriend and Mitch. Like the fact,
Chloe.
yeah, Chloe.
Chloe.
Yeah, so when she comes in and she dumps Shane for Mitch, and then she really quickly realizes, oh crap, I made the wrong choice. Like Mitch is here for the wrong reasons. So I could see how they would say, okay, we'll bring old people back in case that something like that happens, which in this case it definitely does. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Shane come back for that.
but Shane is no second-rate person.
Right.
He's
And
not
right.
a second choice.
Well, and that's what I want to see too, is if he actually takes her back, right? So
Yeah. So they have a comp. I just wrote that it's dumb.
Yeah.
But nothing for
it was pretty dumb, but it was funny at the same time and they made them all get dressed up with their 80s style headbands. And
I did
socks
like that
and,
aspect, how they think they're doing
They're
something
doing
amazing
something physical
Right.
here.
by getting all dressed up.
Right, and then it's like, okay, why don't you, Nick's like, why don't y'all decide, place in order who's the, most compatible couple, and then at the end, everybody's like, all right, we're ready, and he's like, all right, game over, you win.
But this is what worries me about the show, though. How is anyone going to be more compatible than Joey and Carousel
Oh,
at
dude,
the
I
yeah.
end
don't
of
think
this
they
thing?
are. I
I
think
don't
they
either.
win it.
And
I
Joey,
think they win
at this
it.
point, Joey and Carousel have cemented their relationship as
this
boyfriend and
is-
girlfriend,
this
right?
is since like week one.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't win, unless something crazy happens in the next couple episodes that splits them up, if they don't win, then this whole show's bullshit. I mean, bottom line, because at this point,
that doesn't mean if these people are really here for their perfect match, then they can still find their perfect match. They may not win the show, but
right, but they can still find the love they're looking for. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, they broke the show a little bit early
Mhm.
on, so.
Well, that's the thing too, right? They're bringing people on who have actually dated in the past and stuff
yeah,
too, right?
and
So
that
yeah.
was my issue with Chloe going with Mitch. Like you broke up just 6 months ago, and you broke up. The reasons they broke up is that they live two different lifestyles that don't work
yeah, they
together.
don't match exactly.
Nothing has changed. You can still have love for this man. You can still be attracted to him. You can still feel that fire, but it's not going to work.
Right. Well, and
So why?
the funny thing is too, she mentioned she was like, he was such a boy when we dated, and maybe he's changed, and maybe he's a man now, and I want to see him. Like it's fucking 6 months later. Right? How much changing does somebody do in 6 months?
How long does it take to become a man, Billy?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just crazy. I was like, what the hell is this chick thinking?
I don't know.
It was
But
dumb.
they hook up Shane and Chloe, and they really hit it off.
Yeah, Shane and Chloe, man, they hit it off right off the bat. They were all over each
Shane's
other. They
super
got
excited.
along right. I mean, everybody in the house when they came after their day was like, "Damn, Shane's glowing."
I
Look, this
think
dude's
Chloe
happy.
was talking about marriage.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then
But who chose Mitch to be with
that was
Chloe?
Francesca. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
But this is
Freaking-
where Dom goes on a date with Colony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And poor Colony, dude. She's one of those. I mean, you mentioned it before, Josh, where people coming in late to a show really have it bad because
Mhm.
everybody else has already been around each other. They know each other. So you're bringing in these people late, and it's like, well, shit. Look, I mean, I've got to compete against all these other people who are pretty much already hooked up and have
Who's Colony?
solid relationships. And
Yeah.
Who is Colony?
she was from Tampa, selling Tampa.
Mm-hmm. She was in and out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in for one episode and out because she didn't hook up with anybody.
She
She
came
went
back
home.
from the
Now,
date.
What I will say though, and
I thought he went with what's her name?
He hooks up
He
with
went on 2
Diamond
dates.
after that.
Diamond was a second
Diamond,
date.
okay.
But now I will say this, you know, Josh, you and I talked about this earlier. Even though people are doing that to like get, like Francesca does just because she's an evil asshole, right?
Yes.
But the good thing is, I mean, Dom, and he does a great job of it, can take advantage of that because he can say, look, I know I'm not going to hook up with these people, but I can give them the freaking inside baseball on what's going on in the house, who's who in the zoo, and kind of give them an idea
It's
of who
an
they want to hook
advantage
up
if
with.
you ask me.
Exactly,
He seems
total
like it's an
advantage.
insult, but I think it's an advantage.
Oh yeah, total advantage.
Like,
Well,
you know you're going to hook up with Georgia and stay with her, so there's no
Yep.
risk to anything here. You might as well get some intel
Yeah.
and provide
Yeah.
some.
And you're getting to know the new person coming in the house before anybody else gets to know them, right? Talk to them, give them the inside baseball, and just have a good time and chat and relax. And,
I mean, he told Diamond who to go for.
yeah,
And
exactly.
he's like, this is who you should gravitate
Well,
for.
he told Colony the same thing.
I love like the conversation with Colony and Bartise though, where she's like, you kind of young, and he's like, yeah, I only date older women. And she's like, and then they start
Bye.
talking about kids, and she
Uh-huh.
wants kids in 1 to 2 years, and Bartise is like, bye.
Yeah. Well, he says, yeah, I'm probably too young for you then. He said,
He's like, I'm out.
but she said she's calling him a baby, and he's 26 and she's 30. It's like,
Yeah.
I
he's-
hate
it's
that.
like, dude,
I
he's
hate
4
when
years
people
younger than
act
you.
like they're
Yeah.
so much younger when
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
4-year
It's
difference.
crazy. It's like 4
I
years.
also
She's on a
do
whole
wanna-
nother level, man. She's in the
Right.
30s.
I also do want to point out that Bartise, being 26, was all like that was an issue on his show Love is
with
Blind as well,
Nancy.
that he was 25, and she wanted to have all the babies, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And he was all on board with that in a very quick time manner,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
allegedly on board with that.
I mean, Nancy
So-
was like, what, 31, 32, I think, on the
yeah,
show?
so I really don't think he's very inconsistent in how he says he wants things to play out in his life. So
Yeah,
I
no,
just
yeah, I
don't
agree.
trust that he's on any of these shows for the right reason.
Yeah, and this is where Bartise ditches Inez for Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
And then soon after, they have that soap competition where they got sponges on themselves and they're
Mhm.
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to soak up the water. And what'd you think of that comp, though?
I thought that was
People
cool. I mean,
grinding
so,
on each other, all kinds
yeah,
of stuff.
so well, again, and that one is kind of a compatibility challenge as far as like just, I mean, because you got to feel comfortable with the person you're with to rub your body all over them and stuff like
Well,
that.
you probably
right? So
just take your hands and wring it out.
you could.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could.
It's probably more effective.
Might as well have
actually.
fun.
I think you, as a normal person,
Might as well
might
have
have
fun.
to feel comfortable, but I think this group of
Right, that's
people
true. Probably
are
don't
comfortable
care.
grinding on anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
I
That's
don't
probably,
think any of them
that's
have
probably
any
And
true.
you're not happy with the retread option.
No, not happy to reach out. Well, only one, like I said, there's only one thing that makes me kind of happy about it is that maybe Shannon will get a second chance here. But other than that, like there's no, like I said, there's no repercussion. You're like, once you're off, you should be off, right? But they get to come back and have a second chance at it. So it's like, what's the point of kicking people off?
It's the perfect match. Like, they deserve their perfect match.
Yeah, they deserve it.
And this is where
Jeez.
Chloe goes on the date with Mitch, and like
Mhm.
I like what Shane says. He's like, because they have this trust, and he's like, the first chance, the test of this trust, you go off and make out with a guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't even really even worried about it when she first
I know.
left.
Dude,
They
now-
were so tight and
what-
so confident.
Now, what I will say though is Damien had one hell of an excellent point. So Damien sat him down afterward and talked to him because Damien's the one that chose to put him on that date, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look, dude," he's like, "if that had been freaking Natalie, and she had kissed you, he's like,
Yeah.
you know damn well you would have kissed her back. You wouldn't have pushed her away. You'd have kissed her
Yeah,
back."
because he was
he's
trying
like,
to say like, don't give up and all this kind of stuff.
He's like, so don't be a fucking hypocrite here. He's like, don't lose hope just because she kicked her ex-boyfriend, who, by the way, she just broke up with 6 months ago. So there's obviously still going to be feelings there. So I like the approach Damien had to that, trying to tell him, look, dude, don't, he's
But
like, just calm down, stop being yourself, Shane, and just kind of think rationally here,
But she did choose Mitch.
But you did, right? Right.
She
But
did choose
again,
him.
very next episode, she was regretting that big time, right? So
And this is where Ines and Will bond over some fondue.
that's right. With that janky little fondue
Yeah,
machine.
wasn't that great?
No, it
Ines
wasn't.
was complaining
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
it.
right, right.
They needed more chocolate or something.
or
Yeah,
better-
the chocolate was not flowing very well in that
Yeah.
thing.
Or
So
Will, better known as Thor, is what all the girls are calling him now there. So
Mm.
he's a big dude, man.
yeah,
And evidently he
getting
won.
him to take off his shirt and everything, and
Oh,
Ines
yeah.
is like, "What the heck is going on?"
And they're like, we asked him to.
Yeah.
And evidently he was the winner
And
of the
it's
mold.
very interesting seeing Bartise and Shane bond.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I mean, at the same time, I mean, it kind of makes you think they kind of knew each other already, even though,
I
they're,
think all of these people
for the most
have
part, knew each other at some point or another, right?
Yeah. I think Netflix must have these mixers of different people because they all seem
Right.
to. have
But,
some kind of knowledge of each other.
Yeah, but I thought Shane and Bartise at the end there, their little Bonnie was pretty cool. I enjoyed that, you know.
Until it's ruined by some water, which
Oh,
is
dude.
hilarious.
Oh my God, that was so
that was rude as hell, man. Well, I don't think they knew they were right underneath them though
so
when they did
rude.
it.
They
you
had
know?
to hear him after they complained or something.
Oh, I'm sure
though,
they
right?
did.
They didn't care. They were making out.
Oh, yeah,
in
they
the
just splashed that
bathtub.
infinity pool over the freaking
I
head.
mean,
Whatever it
those
is,
two
yeah.
guys just bro bonding out there while
yeah.
Chloe's getting
With
a
Mitch.
freak on with Mitchell in the
After
pool,
she
the
just
balcony pool.
dumps the poor
Right.
guy. Come on.
Well, and speaking of Mitchell, right? So this guy is a virgin, you know, is what they say, and evidently he is.
It's what they say. It's what he says.
But he acts like more of a boy than any of them, right? But he's like a
Yeah.
virgin. It's like this dude's like, I want to taste the rainbow, and it's like, well, what are you tasting, bro? Because you're like a virgin, you know.
Can't hold him back.
Right,
man.
right. You can't hold the guy back, you know. And of course, Chloe finds out real quick that, oh shit, I made a huge mistake because they go on their date, and then he tells her, look, I don't want a relationship. It's like, why the are you here? And then,
Yeah.
He was
man.
acting shady from the beginning
Oh,
when
yeah.
she was questioning him. He kind of gave the, I don't want to be tied down, but
Uh-huh.
he wasn't strong about it because I think he wanted to match up with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to stay in the house, exactly.
But she didn't pick up on it.
Nope.
No.
I think
She did Shane for that.
I think she did because you could look at her face, but she just didn't want to. She didn't want to admit to herself that, which is why she had that freaking conflict at the end. She was crying, right? Like, oh my god, am I going to make the wrong decision by picking
Yes,
Nick? And
you
she's
did.
bawling her eyes out. It's like, yeah, you sure did, sweetheart.
Mhm.
That's exactly what she did.
Although Shane
I
comes
love
with
how
his
she
own
craps on
problems.
Shane and then she starts crying. What's that?
Yeah.
What's that about, Ashley?
What? Did she cry?
Why do women do that?
Why do we cry?
You
No, why-
crap on someone and then you cry
Cry
about
about
it
it.
after you just like rip some guy's
It's hard
heart out.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we don't
And
like.
no- and then-
we don't like that you put us in the position to have
Well,
to do it.
and then knowing damn well that's the wrong choice, and that's why you're crying about it. But then you do it anyway, right? So, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
man.
Well, why do you guys do the same things and just not cry about it? Because you just don't care.
Well, Don,
That's it.
So the next comp, the cute or cringy. I like this one.
yeah, that one was cool. I like
Yeah.
it.
Interesting questions
Yeah.
on there.
You know, take a dump with your partner in the bathroom with you. I
Yeah.
mean, at that point, I thought everybody was going to say cringy, and then like a couple of dudes said cute, and I'm
It's
like,
so
what? I'm like, what
cute.
the hell? So,
Yeah.
it's like,
Sharing a
Sharing a
toothbrush,
toothbrush, yep.
the bathwater
Yeah.
one.
oh yeah, man. It's like, oh man, like who?
Yeah, the toothbrush. I mean, the bathwater. I could see that going in either direction because I can see couples taking a bath together.
Right,
so
right.
really, what's the difference? Though I am in agreement that it's cringy, but I
Yeah.
can see that one going. Who in their right mind would say it's cute to share a toothbrush? I
Right.
just
Or
don't
the-
understand.
That's gross.
that.
Or the freaking like, or
I
like being a
guess if you're
bath,
making out with
or
someone.
like
then
be in the
it-
bathroom brushing your teeth while your partner's taking a dump. You know, it's like,
Well,
what?
they didn't
what
combine
the
the
hell's
two.
going on?
Well, I
They
think
didn't say
Chloe.
you were-
Chloe said she did that, didn't she?
She used his toothbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, dude, I did like the whole toothbrush one. I did like Francesca's little when her and Damien were talking about it. And she's like, well, you know, it's not really not that bad, I guess, when you think about like, you know, sometimes we lick people's butthole.
You've never looked up. You've licked a butthole. Before,
He's like,
right?
yeah, of course I have, but I mean,
yeah, but
It's different.
he's like, I never really compared the two before.
so surprisingly, Will and Ines win this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, but he did say that, hey, you know, he's like, we were actually smart about it, and we took the night to actually get to know each other and talk to each other a lot about our likes and dislikes.
Yeah, I
and
don't believe that.
I don't know if you
Nah.
ever talked about, you know, I mean, on your first date, you talk about taking a dump from your partner. I don't know, but
But this is kind of odd situation because Will and Dom kind of made up at this point, right?
you thought they did.
yeah.
will, dude.
I don't know.
They had something going on from the mole,
Yeah.
and then
It makes me want to go watch the mole to
Right,
figure
just
out
figure
what
what it
they
was.
have going on.
Yeah, because Dom's like, man, and the whole time Dom's like, I can't trust this guy, you know, but hey, whatever, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the
he
doubt. I'll bear
doesn't
the
really
hatchet.
badmouth him.
No, he doesn't.
Just has hesitations
Yeah,
about him.
and he never says like what the beef was. He never talks down on Will. He
Yeah.
just says, hey, you know, he and I had a beef. You know, I kind of don't trust him, but I'm gonna give him the
yeah,
benefit
he's
of the
like, I
doubt.
don't want to get into it.
And then Will screws him over at the first chance he gets.
Well, it's kind of weird too because
Yeah.
Ines is like, look, Dom is very loyal. Like, I don't agree with this, but they like did it where like I'm gonna pick a couple and you pick a couple,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
like they
It's a
weren't
bit-
joint
and
on
Will,
that
and Will's
one.
like, well, it's my choice.
yeah,
That's what I'm
exactly.
picking.
He's like, I was like, dang.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, is it?
Right.
Like,
I was
Yeah.
like,
that's
who
not
said
how
that?
it's worked in the other
No,
ones.
no. When Nick told him in the beginning, he said, we're going to switch it up a little bit. Each of you get a choice on a couple now.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so at that point, like the other one
I
can't
missed
disagree with it.
that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he did say that,
Oh, yeah.
but like he was like, my choice. I
Choice,
don't
my- yeah.
care. Trying to
Locked it in.
screw Will over or
He still
Dom
has to
over.
get her to
Yeah.
lock it in, though.
Oh, yeah. So, so,
You
he
gotta
sent,
lock it in together.
so when he sends Dom on that date with Diamond, and just like with Colony, Diamond, you know, Dom does a smart thing, and he kind of gives, you know, Diamond the 411 and everybody in the house and what's going on, and, you know, just gets to know her a little bit. So that was Dom plays it smart with these dates, at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't like going on them, but he does the right thing while he's on 'em.
And I think that between Dom and Georgia, they're probably the only people that can compete with Joey and Carousel.
Yeah, at this
Maybe.
point, yeah, for
Because,
sure.
you know, he's very loyal, and she hasn't given any reason to, you know, since she's been
Mhm.
with him, she seems to be very, you know, into him.
Yeah,
And
but the funny thing is, had freaking Chloe made the right decision and picked Shane, they would have been the two, right? They would have been really close competition, I think, for the other two.
Now, they set Francesca up with Abby, so we get a little bi action going on
little
here.
girl and girl.
yeah.
And then Carousel has conversations with Joey talking about that as well. Like, hey, if I marry a
Yeah,
guy, I
that
don't want to
was-
give up.
I'm still
my-
bi.
Yeah.
Right, so she's like,
What
I
do you
don't-
think of that?
I don't
That's
wanna-
interesting.
you know, just because I marry a man doesn't mean I got to give up my sexuality. And it's like, well, if that man agrees that you can have sex with women while you're married, then no, you don't have to give it up. But guess what? If you're marrying a man and you agree that you're not going to have sex with women, well, then you're not bi anymore. You're straight, pretty much at that point. If you're going
Yeah,
to
I don't
completely,
really
if you're
know
going
how
to,
that works.
you're going to completely give
It's
up.
complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated. But if you're gonna completely give up the opposite sex to marry somebody you love and completely get rid of that part of your lifestyle, and then yeah, you're basically straight at
Well,
that point.
you're not.
I just don't even know why it's need to be discussed.
Right,
That's my
right,
thing.
right.
That's my thing. Because if you're together, does it matter? You're not going to be with another guy or
another
another
girl.
woman.
Yeah, and
so,
she
like, it doesn't
seems
matter.
to want to
Hey.
hold on to it.
Right, but then
you
hey,
know.
Joey was very understanding about it.
Yeah,
you know?
Joey's cool. Joey's
He's like, hey, you want to bring a girl home? Yeah, come on.
the best response.
Dude, Joey has a lot of funny one-liner, dude. Like, part where they're
Yeah.
all talking on the couch, and Joey's like, hell yeah, I'm going to give her the best 35 seconds of her life.
That's true.
I like Joey.
Oh, dude, Joey's awesome, man.
I do.
I hated that guy the first episode.
Yeah.
Ever since then, man, he's growing on you more and more.
I
man.
didn't get the
Good dude.
attraction of why everybody liked him so much, but I mean, I guess I'm not attracted to him, but his
He's
demeanor
fun,
and his
too, and
personality,
whenever
he's
people
fun,
come
and
into
I'm
the house-
becoming attracted to him because of that.
Yeah, he's
so
charismatic. He's funny.
yeah.
You know, he's just all around good dude. You
I
know.
get it now.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
took
yeah.
me a little bit, but I get it.
And now this is where Damien gets dissed by Francesca.
For Gabby or Abby. What's her name? Abby.
Yeah, Abby.
Yeah.
And Ines, who poured her heart out to Dom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel bad for Inez.
Oh yeah.
Because I really think Inez is there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
There's very
But-
few people on the show that are,
Well, they
and
would
I
make
think
a pretty
she
good
is.
couple, I think. But Dom is so loyal to who
Yeah.
he's with. It's
Well-
never going to happen.
And he even said, "I wish you
You
had
said it
this
earlier.
sooner."
Like if she'd have shot her shot at the same time Georgia did, then it might have been a different story. But she didn't. You know.
Yeah.
I really like Dom because of that.
Oh yeah, Dom's a good dude, man. Freaking good dude.
Yeah,
Right,
Joey
right.
and Dom.
Yeah.
Big on my
they're-
list.
Yeah, they're best guys in the house for sure.
And I want something good for Inez.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
She might be a little too picky for people.
She-
I don't
she
think
is kinda
people that
picky.
would go on these shows are her type of people.
Yeah.
That's the
you know,
problem.
exactly. That's
so
exactly
she's
right.
probably
They're
not going to find her perfect match.
No.
And then
But now we got. I mean, so then at this point now Dom asked Georgia, you know, hey, will you be my girlfriend? Because he wants her to feel secure now because of all the Inez situation. And she's like, yeah. So now you got two boyfriend girlfriend couples, right? So now you got two really strong matches, like you said, you know, battling it out. But I still think at this point that because Joey and Carousel have been in from day one, that I still think they probably rate to win.
Yeah, but she's kind of volatile. She could go off the.
Oh yeah, well, and according
She's
and
unpredictable.
in the previews, it made it sound like maybe she does,
but
right?
Georgia hasn't really been tested, right?
No,
I
not
mean,
yet.
Chase, she dissed Chase, but
Yeah,
she hasn't gone on a date where she's really been tested.
So she didn't diss Chase. She just called Chase out
Yeah.
on his bullshit
Yeah.
and freaking and she made the smart move
Right,
there, right?
yeah.
So
Yep. So, and then Diamond and Will
mhm.
match up. What do you
Yeah,
think about that
not- dude.
combo?
Diamond match with Will because he wants to stay in the house, or Will match with Diamond because he wants to stay in the house. And I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, and Diamond's a sweetheart too. I feel bad for her, man, because
yeah.
I mean, Diamond's awesome. I loved her in Love Is Blind. You know, I mean, she seemed like an asshole at first, but then she grew on you, and you learned to love her, and she was just a good, all around good hearted
She got the
person.
shaft on that.
Oh, she did.
show.
Oh, she got screwed on that show.
Hard.
Yeah.
So,
right. But Diamond's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Diamond, and I definitely don't think her and Will are gonna work out at all.
No. Well, I don't think anyone who gets with Will is going to work. out.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Will's not there.
No.
Will's there to win.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he
Yep,
said when he
yeah,
came on. He's
that's
like,
what
I'm
he
here to win.
says.
Yeah.
He's not there
and
for
then
the
and
perfect
Inez was
match.
like, "What?"
Which is what turned off Inez to him. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's like, he is definitely not here for the right reasons. She's like, yeah.
It's
we're
kind of easy to
our
get
half
on her shit side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I
even,
like that about her.
but even when you do get on her shit side, she's still very calm when she's talking to you about it. You know, like, man.
I don't know. I aspire to be like Inez.
I know, right? We all should. Shit. Hell.
And then we have the stack the blocks competition.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, I guess. You know, that kind of reminded me of like some Survivor type competitions, right?
Yeah,
So,
a little bit.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
Not
You know-
quite as
Yeah.
rough, but
Right. Oh yeah. Not,
and Abby apparently is taking her sweet time.
Yeah, well, Francesca's like she's like acting like she's walking down the aisle.
Everyone else is tumbling over and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that competition was cool, I
You won
guess.
that one?
Mitchell and Chloe.
Mm,
And then they go on their date, and then that's when Mitchell tells Chloe, "Yeah, I'm not looking for a relationship."
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's kind of like odd for him to do. Like he had this secure thing.
Oh yeah,
What do you think motivated him to do that?
he wants to taste the rainbow that he's never
That's
tasted.
what he says.
Well, he wants to taste that rainbow that he's evidently never tasted before.
But
so,
who is he looking for?
yeah, dude, that's a good question, right? I mean,
Not
'cause
Chloe.
Chloe seems like I mean, Chloe.
Yeah,
number
why?
one-
Why even
dude.
say that though until you have
Until
somebody
the
else?
options are out
Well,
there.
especially when you have a woman who's gorgeous, who's been sexually active in the past, and who is willing to forego sexual activity for your freaking goofy ass just because you don't want to have sex. It's like, dude, you got it pretty damn good with this woman, and you know, and he's
And let's not forget, Chloe is not just this attractive woman that has had sex in the past. She was on Too Hot to Handle because she was a horny.
right, exactly.
Like, I mean, she
Oh, yeah.
wanted to
She's a horn
screw
dog, man.
anything that walked.
Oh yeah, so the fact that she is
So-
willing to give up all that for a freaking virgin, right, who she
Mhm.
is in love with, yeah, that
Well,
says
Mitch
something
is a
about her
pretty
character.
good looking guy.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude.
Those abs, man.
That
Like,
blue green
did you
eyes
see
he's
the
got.
abs?
Yeah, he's
I
ripped.
mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, all the guys are pretty good looking. I like
Yeah,
how
oh, yeah.
Joey's like, everyone's over 6 feet tall. Where
He's
are the
like-
normal
he's like-
size
An
guys?
average guy
He's like, you
in
got Will
here.
walking in at 6'5". He's like, where the hell is the average guys like me? He's like, I'm average size.
Yeah.
And of course, and Joey's not ripped or any of that, right? He's just like a normal looking dude, man.
Shane's pretty ripped too, though.
Shane's ripped, man. No doubt about it. I mean, Shane is like, Shane's got an
He's
overall.
burning all those calories, constantly moving.
Right,
So
fidgeting all over the place,
Like,
right?
Gotta burn the calories. Gotta burn the calories.
But I cannot stand his and Dom's crop toss, man. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you
crop
guys? Dude, they're
tops? Come
damn
on
crop
now.
toss. You know?
coming back.
Yeah, well, Zeke Elliott brought that shit and everybody
You
does it
guys
now,
should
man.
be wearing crop tops right now.
I know, right? Wearing the damn crop
There
tops.
you
That
go,
was a
yeah.
missed
Yeah.
opportunity.
You
guys.
like Dom.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Well, there you have it. That is our take on episodes 5 through 8 on Perfect Match. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, hit like and subscribe. And please chat us up. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the show
And
and
if
love
you
to have
didn't enjoy
discussions
it,
with you.
subscribe anyway.
There you go. Even if you
Why
didn't
not?
like it, at least you like us, right? So-